So if you don't mind, tell me when did this competition go on? Like, just take me through the basics of what even it was, for that matter.
Okay. Okay, so April 18th is when it all happened. My dad and I were fishing that whole weekend. We left, so that Friday was like one of those teacher work days where they were sending everybody to go get their vaccines. And so we left after I finished teaching that day and just like slept out on the boat 16 miles out that Friday night. And then Saturday night, we slept like 8 miles out. So our original plan for that Sunday, which was the 18th, was we were actually going to come in a couple hundred yards off of Edisto Beach and do some shark fishing there because it's tiger shark season in April, and they kind of hang out closer to the beach. So that was our original plan, but it was really choppy, and somehow because of the waves and stuff, our anchor got stuck on something when we were like 8 miles out. So we couldn't pull it up. And so we kind of made the decision, hey, let's just fish here for now. And if we don't get anything in a few hours, or we do get something, we still have to cut the anchor off. At least we'll have gotten something, or we fished for a little while. So I just did some bottom fishing while Dad was kind of rigging everything up. And then we started shark fishing that afternoon. I guess it wasn't afternoon. It was probably 9:30, 10 o'clock. It felt like afternoon because we were up for so long. And I got this one on around 10:30 in the morning and ended up getting to the boat around 11.
I wanted to mute so it wouldn't go back and forth or have any chance of like switching to me, but no, that's incredible. So take me through like when you eventually caught that very large shark, I will say. Just take me through what was going through your head as you saw it being obviously pulled up.
So I have been doing this legitimately like my entire life. So this is a very normal thing for me. From the time I could stand, I've been shark fishing with my dad, and that's kind of just our special thing that we do. So like last August, I pulled in a 500-pound hammerhead, and I've gotten a bunch of like two to 100-pound sharks throughout like my entire life. So this one wasn't really anything special at first. I'm sure if you've read any of the stories, it's like a big joke with everybody at school now that like I was eating my Uncrustable peanut butter and jelly sandwich on the boat and the rod went off and I wanted to finish my sandwich because I get pretty hangry. So I wanted to make sure that I ate my lunch. So I finished my Uncrustable, fought the shark for like 20, 30 minutes. She didn't really fight too much. She did some head shaking, no jumping or anything like spinners like to do. And then it got to the boat and kind of went crazy. And that was when everything really got insane for Dad and I, where the rod broke and I had to hand line it and he was having to gaff it. And it was just kind of crazy. And then when we were halfway in to the drive back to the Edisto Marina was kind of when everything started to, I guess, we started to figure everything out. Dad was asking about the state record for spinner sharks and if I was sure that that's what it was. But I mean, it would have beat the black tip state record too, either way, because I think that one's like 163 pounds. So either way, if it had been a black tip or a spinner, it still would have been the new state record. But he asked me that, and I was looking over the side of the boat to make sure that I was sure that it was a spinner shark. We got back to the dock and did some measurements and stuff like that. And my dad actually had to convince me to take it to go get weighed at a certified weigh station because I did not want to. I didn't want to feel like I was a burden to my dad because he had already taken like 3 whole days to take me fishing and had taken me out to the Gulf Stream the day before, and we had slept on the boat for 2 nights. And like, I mean, he had back surgery and double knee replacement last year. So he's still kind of recovering from those things. So I felt bad making him drive an hour and a half to go get this thing weighed. But he was like, let's just do it. You need to do it. I think that it's going to beat it. And so he actually had to convince me because I just I didn't have a lot of faith in it, number one, and I didn't want to put him out any more than I already had because I was so appreciative of everything he had already done for me that weekend.
Oh my God, that's really, really sweet. I love that. I think, but clearly he probably was very proud of you. Take me through when you guys actually waited and made the drive, and then you've actually figured out what you had accomplished. What did his face look like then?
So we were at Charleston Harbor Marina. We waited, and you have to wait a couple minutes for everything to just like situate and stop swinging and everything like that. And then you get the official weight. And so the official weight came in at like 175.8, and you have to take off 2.5 pounds for the stuff that you use to hold the shark up there and everything. So it ended up being 173.3, which is 173 pounds and 5 ounces. And when that came across and they read it out loud, you could just see, we had some other people there that were actually coming off of charters and everything, and you could just like see on his face how excited he was. And I was very excited. I'm a very emotional person, so I was like almost in tears on the dock, especially because I got to share it with my best friend, which is my dad. And I still get very emotional, like when I talk about it. I started crying when I got the certificate last week and everything. But he was so proud, and he's a retired police officer, so he's been super helpful with everything. Like, he made all of the phone calls to DNR about like what we needed to do next and everything like that, because I'm a full-time teacher. So the next couple of days I was at work, and so he was calling them. And the lady Amy Dukes that we talked to at DNR was, when I finally talked to her, I think it was on Tuesday the 20th, she was just saying like how proud my dad was and how he was bragging about me. And so that's really cool, because like obviously pretty much every kid's desire is to make their parent proud. And I mean, my dad's been doing this since the 70s, so I know that if it came down to it, he would rather me catch a record shark than him. So I know that he's really glad that like he got to be part of it too, because he was the captain and the driver and everything like that. So we get to share it together. I mean, my name's on the certificate, but it's his too, because he was there and he's the reason that this all happened.
Oh my gosh, you're gonna literally make me cry in a second. You guys can tell you guys are like the best of friends, and I just love that. And the fact that, you know, that you guys are close, but that you can share something together that you both love, and then have literally a prized moment for it too, is some people work their whole lives for that and don't get it. So I think that's pretty cool. So you're a full-time teacher. I think I read in for Berea, is that right?
Yeah.
Berea
so I'm at Berea this year. Okay. And then I'm actually going to Riverside next year, which is where I graduated from. So I'm really excited to get to go home and be a Warrior again. But I do love my Berea family. They have been amazing the last 3 years.
Good, good. So and then you teach, is it business that you teach then? Okay, cool.
Yes, I teach business and computer science. I do. It's very exciting, especially this year. You get to see kids in a different light, because it's been such a strange year. I taught all virtual the first semester, and this semester I have 2 virtual classes and 1 in person. So I get to have a special relationship with my in-person kids versus my virtual kids. And they have been incredible. Like, they have known about all of this stuff. And so I was actually telling my mom earlier, we were out at the pool, I was telling her that like last Thursday, when I told the kids that I got the state record and everything was confirmed and Henry McMaster signed it, I had kids cheering and yelling and clapping, and they were so excited. And so that was like really cool that I got to share it with my kids too.
Oh, that's awesome. No, that's, you know, that it's cool seeing their teacher in like the newspaper and stuff. Like even tonight, I don't know if any of them will be up, because I know we're on the 10 o'clock, but you know, we rerun this stuff all the time too, especially in the mornings and whatnot. So seeing your teacher up there is pretty spectacular too, for something that cool as well. So I love that you guys have been doing it together. But anything else that you want to add about, remind me one more time, I'm going to write this down really fast. Well, how much did it end up being again? 173.5?
It was 173 pounds and 5 ounces.
Okay, wow. That's crazy. I love how you didn't want to get it weighed. I mean, thank goodness for your dad. I mean, I know you were being very considerate, obviously. Like, I get where you're coming from. Absolutely. You know, just not
like, if you know anything about Enneagrams, I'm a type 2, so I'm like the helper. And so I don't like to put anybody out of anything. Yeah. And so I'm like, no, it's fine. We don't have to do that.
Right.
Like, it's going to be a burden.
Oh my gosh. No, I'm glad that he pushed you a little bit to do it, because you're going to have that moment for forever, you know, and it's good to do that stuff with or without a prize, but at this point, it's such, like, I can just picture him like talking at the dinner table, being, and this one time, you know, like, and pulling out the pictures and stuff. So that's funny. Like your partner in crime over there. I'm trying to make sure I have everything down here. You're at Berea, but going to Riverside next year. I'm just doing like this we have this recorded, of course. I'm just doing it for my notes, but Well, cool. I appreciate this. I know it's very last minute, so I appreciate you being available. But congratulations. That's a really big deal and something, especially since you've been working for it essentially your whole life. I mean, you've been fishing with
Yeah.
him for how long? I mean, that's a long time. So,
Yeah.
but is there anything else that you want to add about that day or just about the moment that I didn't ask you?
I don't think so. I just like I know like a lot of it's been about me. It's been a very crazy week because I've had like random interviews all the time this week, which is very strange for me. And then we had like our prom, which was gala and everything like that Friday. So it's just been like a whirlwind. But like I want people to understand like I literally could not do this without my dad. Like this whole thing would have never happened if my dad hadn't taken me fishing when I begged him to take me fishing. And if he had never instilled this drive and this love for fishing in me. And so like I just could not have done any of this without him. And so I'm so thankful for him.